Hey, so you're probably here trying to find warm clothing hacks for your semester abroad or your time living in Europe because it's really cold and Europe is really cold compared to a lot of places in the globe. So it might be quite a change for you. And here are ways to be ready for how cold it can be in Europe and stylish little tips because you're in Europe and they're a lot more stylish compared to other people and other cultures around the world, especially where I'm from and the college town city that I'm in, surrounded by the students. They don't dress very nice, and they don't dress very warm, I feel like. So it's definitely something that'll help you while you're abroad. Okay, so you might have been linked to this video from my regrets video where I said I kind of regret not bringing hand warmers because I thought it was just so cold. Yeah, there's one tip to being warm. If you want more regrets that I had that'll just make your time abroad better, I'll link it somewhere up here so that you can see what other things I wish I had brought, other things I wish I did, just so my time there could have been better, but it was already so great, so it might have been hard to beat. So one of the warmest fibers you can have in your clothing is wool. So a lot of that is like cashmere sweaters, stuff like that will help you keep you really warm just in general. So if you can find any pieces that are wool, that'll definitely benefit you. From socks, hat, sweaters, like coats, having anything with wool material or fiber will really benefit you. Like hats, I have a hat, like a floppy hat style that is wool. I have one that's 100% wool and then one that's just like straw, like for the summer, and one of them definitely keeps me a lot warmer. So if you can guess which one, comment down below which one you think, if it's the straw or the 100% wool one. I'll wait. Okay, it was the wool. If you did not know and did not hear me before, wool keeps you really warm. So having hats that are wool, socks, and coats or sweaters or anything like that will also keep like the main part of your body warm as well. Wool is a high-end fabric, so it can be kind of hard or expensive to find pieces that are 100% wool. But also like make sure you know like the other types like Angora, sheep, cashmere, other names of wool that will be on tags, just so you know what you're looking for and the types of things you can look for. You can also look for wool blend, that's better than no wool at all. But it is a high-end fabric, so it can be more expensive to find pieces like that. So there are definitely alternatives like thick clothing. Okay, so my next tip is layering, which is obvious, but there are definitely a lot of ways to layer. You can layer a hoodie under a trench coat. My friend did that and it was definitely a big trend while I was over there in Europe. And that's like 2 jackets on you at once, which is like double the warmth because jackets are like the warmest outerwear you have because outerwear should be keeping you warm. So definitely try like layering on jackets or coats if you can. And you have to definitely try to still be stylish because Europeans are very stylish and you're living in their culture. You don't want to stand out as a tourist when you live there. So definitely be trying to blend in ways like that. You can see what other people are wearing over there where you're at. See if you can mimic the look they have with what you have or what you can get. Maybe if you can find a way to layer like 2 sweaters, or I like to layer a lot of collared and button-up shirts or under sweaters, so it just has an extra long sleeve layer because it keeps me warm. I could think you could do like a sweater and then a like heavy cardigan over. It's a look, you can make it work. Yeah, just find different ways, be creative with how you layer because it can really benefit you when you're outside. Another tip I have is getting thermals. I didn't know about Uniqlo's Heat Tech items, but they have a certain fiber in them that helps them circulate warmth from your body and moisture so that you can actually stay warm. So you try checking that out. I'll link it down below. Okay. They even have a turtleneck thermal, so you can always have your neck warm too. You don't necessarily need a scarf, but you can add a scarf easily on a turtleneck. But yeah, I would definitely check out those styles. I wish I knew about them before I went abroad, but I learned about it while I was there, and I kept thinking I didn't need them, but it's fine. It's fine. I figured it out. I got warm. It's good. Yeah, you can go on my Instagram. I'll put it here. Here. I'll put it here. So you can see the different ways I layered, and you can follow me while you're there, and you can see other ways I find to stay warm. You can also stay warm by finding a way to look good with like 2 jackets or 2 coats, like I said. I had a reversible jacket, so it was like 2 jackets in one. One side was like denim, but it was lined with fur, and then when you flipped it, it was fur. So that kept me really warm. I definitely made it just for the trip because I needed to be cold, and it also had inside pockets for pickpocketing, which I will be posting videos soon about pickpocketers and ways to avoid it. So the parts you really have to cover, because we oftentimes forget, is the parts away from the center and core of your body. So like your feet, like I had mentioned, and your hands, they get cold very easily. So like wool socks would really help, or maybe layering socks if you need to. Sometimes I had to layer gloves as well, but gloves are really easy. Especially if you wear hats, like beanies. Beanie ears, they get so cold. And we sometimes forget about it too. So having a beanie and having it able to cover your ears, or wearing earmuffs, or even like an earmuff band. I really like those. They're very helpful keeping hair tamed, like beanies for windiness so that your hair doesn't get everywhere. And if you want more tips on how to not have messy hair in pictures, I have a Traveling Europe picture hack video coming up. If you want to subscribe down below so that you know, or you hear about when it's coming up, because it might help you get awesome photos while you're in very touristy places. So you might want to subscribe to see how that comes out, and that can help you while you travel. So coats. You're definitely going to need one depending where you go in Europe, because it's going to be cold at one point. Especially if you're going near winter, it's going to be cold. So I really recommend having a coat that is thick. If you can't get a wool one, it's thick. It doesn't have any holes. It's not like a knitted material. I've trusted that around here while I've been in Texas, and it still doesn't do the job, even though Texas winter isn't that bad. But yeah, thick. If it's fur, that would be nice, because it's like maybe wool, close to wool, but it's like mimicking the wool fiber that could help protect you. I've also heard that covering a coat that covers your bottom area will really help you stay warm. It's really important to stay warm by covering the areas away from your core. Sometimes items we forget, like your feet and your hands. So like wool socks, maybe layering socks if you need to. Putting on gloves for your hands. They also make a statement when you can get them to match your hat or your clothing. And your ears, beanies, earmuff bands are also really good for covering your ears, because we often forget that. Ear bands and beanies and earmuffs are also really good for containing your hair in very windy situations, which is a good photo hack. And I'm having a photo hack video coming up for helping you while you travel Europe and getting those great Instagram pictures coming up. So make sure you subscribe so you know when that video is coming, so you can get the best photos during your time there. So if you have a really reliable and trustworthy coat brand, I would love to hear it down in the comments. Please let me know. Please let others know what coats and brands are the best for your outerwear, because outerwear is always needed in the winter. So let us know so that we can be prepared for our travels and like domestic winters. Lastly, I really recommend dressing for the occasion. So if you're going to be outside all day, you definitely want to dress warmer than if you're just running errands in the city during your winter abroad. Okay, so when I went to Disneyland, I had to wear like 2 jackets, 2 gloves, 2 socks, earmuffs, because it was really cold and I was gonna be outside all day. But when I'm in the city just looking at touristy things, going in and out of stores, I wouldn't dress that warm because it was unnecessary. And when I go into stores, it would be warm in there, so why would I want to be warm and hot in the store and then cold outside when I would spend more time in the store and building? So yeah, definitely make sure you're dressing for whatever you're doing. Press the bell next to the subscription button for more videos on studying, traveling, maybe even working tips while you're in Europe, just so you can be ready and prepared and have the best time ever, because study abroad will be one of the best times of your life, and just not being freezing all the time is going to make your time more pleasant there. So make sure you try to take these tips into consideration and have the best time of your life there. In Europe, you can be a feminist and part of the fancy fam. So yeah. Bye!